Okay, in this video I'm just going to run you through some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of the subject. So this is our Interact site, which I'm sure you've found, and down the left hand side is the menu of information that relates to the subject. Obviously at the top is our home page, which is what we can see here. Directly under that will be a summary of the tips for getting the most out of this subject, and we'll come back to this at the end to make sure I haven't missed anything. The subject outline, of course, you probably have already seen. If not, please make sure that you do, because it contains essential information like the assignments. Underneath that menu item is a link to the evaluation of the subject at the end of the session. The next block of items are really important. The first is the announcements. Now I'll be using this. Clearly there are no announcements at the moment, but I'll be using this to send out any important information that comes up during session. So you'll also get an email directly if I do have anything I need to talk to the whole class about. And very important is the area on our discussion forums. Now I've divided it up into several different sub-forums, and you can see the description of them there. Generally they relate to a forum about general questions that aren't related to topics or assignments, and then I've divided them up into assignment forums, each with their own different forum, and then some forums about the topics themselves. Obviously you might be unsure which one to put them in. There might be a question about something in topic 1 that also relates to assignment 2. That's fine, just choose one. It doesn't have to be spot on every time. It just helps to be able to organise it for the rest of the class if they're looking for information on a particular topic or on an assignment. So just do your best on that one. Really important, however, is to go to each of the forums and subscribe. If you don't subscribe to the forum, then you won't get an email notification of questions or comments that are posted. Please do it. It saves a whole lot of trouble for yourself, and also for me and other people in the class, because you will see the questions and comments that have already been asked, and you won't, well, one, you won't miss the important information that you might learn, but also means you don't then ask the same question again. So please make sure you subscribe to all of those forums straight away. It takes 10 seconds and be really helpful. Alright, so the next item down is general information. The first one, readings and resources. Now we'll just click on that and this should come up. So this is the reading list. There is no reading list for this subject except for the textbook. Now the textbook is required for this subject because it contains a whole lot of extra information that is additional to the topics that we cover in the subject, in the modules themselves. So please get a copy of the textbook. It's quite expensive in hard copy and can also be a little difficult to find. It's much cheaper as an ebook. I think it's around $60. Alternatively, you can access it through the library. However, the library only has 2 licenses for online access, so you won't be able to download it. You can download a few pages, but you won't be able to download the whole book. And if other people are looking at it at the same time, then you won't be able to use it. You'll have to wait till they finish. So if you really want to, you can see how you go with that, and then if it becomes too difficult, then yes, please consider purchasing the book. Alright, underneath that is the link to EASE, where you'll submit some of your assignments, and a link to your grades as your assignments are marked. You'll find your marks in that section there. Then there are some general links in most subject outlines, links to the library, some other information, learning tips more generally, and other useful links to help you get through university in general. And then we come to the main body of the subject, which is all our subject topics. Now I've divided them up into 12 weeks as a suggested study schedule You don't have to follow these, but some people like to have a bit of structure, and that's fine. If not, you're welcome to race ahead, or if you need to fall behind a little bit and catch up later, clearly fit this into your study schedule. Keep in mind the assignment due dates in the subject outline. But yes, feel free to study at any pace that you want. Each topic, each week will look something like this. There'll be a link to lectures, online lectures that I'll be giving. There'll be a link to the PDF of the lecture slides. Some people like to have them handy while they watch the lecture. And if there's any additional material, that'll also appear somewhere at the top of the each week. And then underneath that is pretty much a text and image-based repeat of what I describe in the lecture. Some people prefer to watch lectures. Some people prefer to learn directly from a text-based system, which is fine. So you've got two ways of learning there. Now, I'll be progressively putting these up each week. I will hopefully have it done by the start of session. So you can then study. It should all be done by the start of session so that you can study at the pace that you want to. Underneath the topics, so I should also say that the subject is divided into halves. There's topic 1 and topic 2. And you'll see in the discussion forums I've divided them up based on those two sections. So topic 1 is like the Earth, rocks and Earth processes, and the second part is climate and weather. All right, below that is information about the assessments. If you click on the first one, now little thing to understand is that assessments 1 and 5 are essentially the same, and it's just that assignment 1 is a very small assignment to get you started, and assignment 5 is then finished at the end of semester. We're using a system called Peerwise. Now, Peerwise there is a system of writing your own multiple choice questions and answering your own multiple choice questions. Sorry, answering other people's multiple choice questions. It's been found to have better learning outcomes in most students, especially compared to exams. So it generally creates a better long-term memory than exams, which tend to focus on short-term memory. There's also a lot less stress in doing it through this Peerwise system. However, you do have to sort of keep at it a little bit, otherwise you get a bit behind. Now, in this Peerwise system, you'll need to go to this link, you'll need to register, you'll need to create an account. Now, it's done through the University of Auckland, so account management isn't done through CSU, so if you set up a password, you need to keep it safe. Please don't ask me to find your password because I can't. You'll have to contact the guys at the University of Auckland, which can be a little annoying and time consuming. There's instructions on the course identifier. When you go to Peerwise, you need to look for that course ID. Each of you has an individual student identifier, which is the initial of your surname plus the last 4 digits of your student number. If you've got an A and a B record, don't worry about the A and B. If you don't know what an A and B record is, don't worry. And then there is, coming down the menu further, there's information on how to write multiple choice questions. There's a lecture there where I discuss it in detail a little more. Underneath that is the link to the practical manual, which relates to the rest of assignments 2, 3 and 4. Click on that and that's a PDF. And again, each of the assessments has its own menu item and information. So for assessment 2, which is based on topographic maps, there's a little instruction. The maps themselves, which you can get in digital format, a copyright letter in case you need to take that when you go to a printing place. They say, oh, I can't do that because it's copyright. Well, there's a letter there from New South Wales Land and Property Information that you can take with you. Then there are some lectures on that assignment, and I'll do that for each of the assessments. Okay, so that's takes us to the end of the menu items and the end of this presentation. I'll just go back to our tips for studying this subject to make sure I have said everything I needed to say. Okay, look at the subject outline, audit the textbook or alternative options, subscribe to the discussions area, please do that, please do that. Register for the Peerwise, watch the video on how to write multiple choice questions and other information related to Peerwise, download and print the prac manual, organise to have your maps printed for assignment 2, have a quick look for resources for students so you know where to go before you start each assignment. I'll just update that. I'll just have the resources and information in each of those assignment topics. And take a deep breath and start topic 1 and begin assignment 1 on Peerwise. Alright, and just lastly there, with the discussion forum area, please ask questions that you think might be relevant to the whole class, or not just personal questions like, can I get an extension? Please email me if you have any questions that you think only relate to you. Questions about the assignments or about the topics, please put them on the forums, because there will be other people who will be asking the same question or wondering about the same question. Okay, so good luck. Please let me know if you need anything, and contact me whenever you like, and I hope you enjoy the subject. Okay, see ya.